Shalom, I'm Carmen Welker. Welcome to Reality Check. My goal in this series of videos is to explain Torah. As I mentioned in my initial video, Torah is God's divine instructions in righteousness as found in the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis through Deuteronomy. Our Creator, whose name is Yahweh, gave the very first Torah command in Genesis 1:28 when He created Adam and Eve and commanded them to be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Very simple and to the point. Up until then, the universe itself had obeyed His command to be, as we see in Genesis 1:1 through 5. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. The earth was unformed and void. Darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the surface of the water. Then Yahweh said, "Let there be light," and there was light. He saw that the light was good, and He divided the light from the darkness. Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness He called night. So there was evening and there was morning, one day. Note that evening is mentioned first. This reveals that God's day begins at sunset. His day is sunset to sunset, not sunrise to sunrise. In Genesis 1:6 through 11 we read, God said, "Let there be a dome in the middle of the water. Let it divide the water from the water." God made the dome and divided the water under the dome from the water above the dome. That is how it was. And God called the dome sky. So there was evening and there was morning, a second day. God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear." And that is how it was. God called the dry land earth. The gathering together of the water He called seas. And God saw that it was good. God said, "Let the earth put forth grass, seed-producing plants and fruit trees, each yielding his own kind of seed-bearing fruit on the earth." And that is how it was. Yahweh then went on to place the sun, moon, and stars, and in verse 20 we see that God made swarms of living creatures, and He blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the water of the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." Then in verse 26 through 30 we see He created mankind to rule over all the living creatures. And in verse 31, we read Yahweh saw everything He had made, and indeed it was very good. So there was evening and there was morning, a sixth day. Now watch what happens next as we read Genesis 2:1 through 3. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, along with everything in them. On the 7th day, God was finished with His work which He had made, so He rested on the 7th day from all His work which He had made. God blessed the 7th day and separated it as holy, because on that day God rested from all His work which He had created, so that it itself could produce. Note that He rested on the 7th day and separated it as holy. Holy means to be set apart, separate from everything else. Holy is what He calls us to be. And how can we be holy? Through obedience to the One who created us. Now let's stop for a moment and think about this. Where in the entire Bible did God ever tell us to change the command to keep His 7th day holy? Or to change His Sabbath to Sunday, which is the first day of the week on our Gregorian calendars? The answer is nowhere. God never said the 7th day rest was to be changed to Sunday. Man did. People like the Roman Emperor Constantine, who forbade the Christians to adhere to anything Jewish. Constantine was a sun worshiper who became a famous Christian, advancing pagan Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. His version of Christianity included many pagan rituals, including Sun Day and Tammuz and Ishtar worship we today know as Christmas and Easter. The fact is, Yahweh established the 7th day as holy and set it apart as a sign between Himself and His people, as we see in Ezekiel 20, 11 through 12, which reads, I gave them my laws and showed them my rulings. If a person obeys them, he will have life through them. I gave them my Shabbats, or Sabbaths, as a sign between me and them, so that they would know that I, Yahweh, am the one who makes them holy. This Sabbath issue was actually the turning point that caused me to first realize there was something amiss in our churches. How dare we ignore the command to keep the seventh day, especially since neither Yahweh nor his Son ever said to change it to some other day? Take a look at Daniel 7:25, which refers to the coming of the Antichrist. He will speak words against the Most High and try to exhaust the holy ones of the Most High. He will attempt to alter the seasons and the law, and the holy ones will be handed over to him for a time, times, and half a time. Who are the holy ones? Are they the ones who reject Yahweh's divine commands known as Torah, and those who refuse to keep his commanded seventh day? No! Holy people obey God. The entire universe obeyed Yahweh, so what makes us think we don't have to? As hard as this might be to hear and digest, Christianity has changed his laws, his Sabbath, and his appointed times, his seventh-day Sabbath, and the feasts. Please think about that very long and hard, and we'll discuss this a little more in future segments. Shalom.